There are 6 sessions that are spread out over 8 weeks. And in that time, we have an hour of coaching time, and then in between coaching times, there's lots of activities, or sometimes we call them exercises, to do for the person being coached to do. And in the next session, the work that went on, the thinking that went on, the feelings that resulted from the activities are often what we talk about and how the next session goes.
Part of what we have learned is that coaching is about the client and a client-centered approach. So however long it takes is however long the client wants it to take. We're not prescriptive, we're not structured in terms of the duration of this. It's totally about what the client wants to accomplish and the pace at which they want to go.
There's another aspect too, is that we keep saying we have three phases or stages of transition, but very often you don't just graduate from one and then on to the next. Very often we break away from career or profession and get into taking a productive pause, but find, whoops, we got to go back. Or we may even leap forward right away to making a fresh start, but bring it back and check it out a little bit. So it's to keep saying there's a graduation in a very linear process from one to the other just isn't so.
I completely agree with that. And I think that scenario would happen more if someone comes to us and says, I'll go through this process, but I already have a very clear notion of what it is that I want to do. So they accelerate through the phases, perhaps get into the making a fresh start with their original idea and get into it and go, wow, gosh, that's not what I thought it would be. And so then we go back and lay some different and new groundwork.
Looking at where the visions overlap. And so there's some individual coaching with a couple at first, and then we move into the real work that gets done between the couple.
Right. So as you might guess, couples are individuals, so they each have their own dreams and their own passions and their own interests, but it's that intersection where we are able to facilitate communication and conversation and some planning about how to make that happen. The other thing that we find is the support that we can provide to the couple and the couple can provide to each other. We have found that what's important for people is to know that they're not in this alone. They're not the only ones who are confused or frustrated or impatient about moving on. Mm-hmm. So in our group coaching...
Or fearful,
absolutely, or excited. Mm. So the support that people can give one another and the celebrations that come through the group coaching are a very important aspect of going through this new territory for people. Mm. We are in it together with the client because it's really a tough road for someone to do all of this experiential stuff on your own. And with our clients, we are there to support them, to catch the fall, to celebrate the victories, because there are so many of those, and there's often very small victories. It's reclaiming your life. It's reclaiming your identity. It's reclaiming your vitality. And it's ultimately knowing that when you get up in the morning, you have something much bigger to do than get dressed up, get a cup of coffee, and stand out on the deck and admire your trees. It really is about how do I re-engage with life and with the people around me.
People think of retirement as the finish line. It's the end. And we know that it's not. We know that there's a good many years left, and that they need to be used as productively as possible.